What's up, everybody? Welcome back to racingdudes.com. Welcome back to another one of our Kentucky Derby horse profiles. Let's now go and talk about the Brad Cox trained in further ado, a horse coming in off of a big win. We just saw him in the Bluegrass Stakes. You see right there on the screen, 6 starts overall, 3 first, 1 second, 1 third, 2 starts this year, 1 first and 1 second. Further ado, like I said, trained by a Brad Cox. So yet another Brad Cox runner here. Let's go down now to the results of this horse, kind of look at what he's done coming in here. Maiden special weight at Saratoga finished 5th and then 3rd in back-to-back races back down there, or up there, I should say, at Saratoga. Both these races weren't all that good, to be completely honest. They were sprint races, and look, I think the horse was just kind of underwhelming. I think they always thought he was going to be pretty good. You debut horses and run horses at Saratoga because you think they're good. He just didn't really show himself. And then he stretched out to 2 turns for the first time at Keeneland and was able to win by 20 lengths in a maiden special weight there. And then that propelled him to the Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes, where he was able to win again and end his 2-year-old season as a Grade 2 winner. Came back this year in the Tampa Bay Derby, ran second, narrow defeat by the Puma that day. The Puma had some races under his belt. Further ado, obviously, first race of the year, first race off of a bit of a layoff. And then last time out, we saw him return to Keeneland to the Bluegrass Stakes and then absolutely dominate once again there at Keeneland. So, I mean, obviously the things that stand out, you can forget about the early races going 1 turn and irrelevant when it comes to the Kentucky Derby. So not a data point we need to talk about. But I think the big thing you're looking at here, these 2 races at Keeneland stand out tremendously versus anything else the horse did. So if we look at the last 4 races, and look, the Keeneland maiden special weight was just out of this world. He comes back in the Kentucky Jockey Club. You watch the replay of that race. He didn't run poorly. And I'm not saying he did run poorly, but it didn't quite look like that race at Keeneland. He did kind of struggle to get by late. He beat a couple horses that really haven't turned out to be that good. And it was like, yeah, it was a good race, but nothing overly special. Tampa Bay Derby, first off of a layoff. He was kind of a work or two short, according to Brad Cox. He ran pretty well, but he was beaten by the Puma. Canaletto was right there with him as well. Good horses, the best field he's faced by far. He did lose, but he did have an excuse, coming off the layoff. The Bluegrass, man, he just wished something else would have been in the race. There just wasn't much in that race, and he was just able to kind of dominate. So you got to determine, is he taking advantage of kind of weaker company on his wins? And is it Keeneland that brings out the best in him? But obviously that Bluegrass, just on the face of it, probably the most impressive prep race of the season. Let's go here and kind of talk about the pedigree of the horses by Gunrunner out of a Sky Mesa mare. I really think a 1.25 miles should be okay. He was finishing up, fairly strong. I don't see anything terrible about the pedigree to make you go, don't do it. Don't bet him. I think he'll be okay. Is 1 1/8 miles maybe going to be his absolute best distance? It's possible, but I do think 1.25 miles will be just fine. Running style, I think he has a really nice one. I think he's going to stalk the pace, basically. I don't see him being up on the lead. I think he'll just kind of stalk the pace, kind of be patient, and just try to, make the first move, basically, as they turn for home. He's probably going to get the first jump out of the main contenders. A lot of the main contenders are coming from the back. So, get the jump on him and hopefully, in his case, be able to gallop away and get the job done. As far as the negative on this horse, I think the big one and the big there's 2. Keeneland, maybe Keeneland's the track where he really runs his best and he's just okay everywhere else. I mean, I think the Tampa Bay Derby was pretty good. Like I said, the Kentucky Jockey Club was pretty good. Those 2 races at Keeneland were incredibly good. So maybe he's going to see his best right there at Keeneland. And then will he bounce a little bit off that huge effort in the Bluegrass? So if you think he's going to bounce, and basically what bouncing mean is he kind of regresses off that huge number that he got and kind of runs back to, a normal baseline, basically, right? Or even a little below. Obviously he's not going to win if that's the case. If you believe there's more in the tank, though, if you believe he can repeat that effort or move forward off that effort, he has to be your pick because that was really, really nice. And if he can, like say, if he can move forward off of it, that would be nice as well. Last kind of thing, Irad Ortiz Jr. rode him there in the Bluegrass. He's not on him now. It will be Johnny Velasquez riding the horse. Irad goes to ride Renegade. So a good sign for Renegade. I don't think it's just the worst sign for Further Ado, because Irad does ride for those connections. Todd Pletcher and obviously Mike Rapoli owns a piece of Renegade as well. So he may just be sticking with the guys that give him the most business. But still, he does ride for Brad Cox quite a bit. All right, final verdict when we talk about Further Ado. Major Contender, I have him ranked number 3 right now. I really think the top 4 or 5, there's hardly any difference. So Further Ado could definitely end up being my top pick. And I'll let you know who the top pick is going to be the week of the race. Come back and watch the video there. But as of right now, Major Contender, I think he's got a big chance to make a lot of noise in the Kentucky Derby. All right, guys, that'll do for this video. Hit that like button if you like it. Subscribe. You really like it. Want to get alerted anytime we do videos like this. And most importantly, come back to the website for more Kentucky Derby news.